on the flooding in Limpopo and Mpumalanga, and updates from the Limpopo Premier, Dr. Phophi Ramatuba, on the number of people killed in the heavy rains that have struck Limpopo and Mpumalanga over the last few days. Yesterday, the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, was there to see the damage for himself. Well, we're joined now by the Minister for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Velenkosini Hlabisa. Minister, good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you for your time. It's very severe damage. We've lost several people there. What are you able to do to help the people in that area?
Good afternoon, Stephen, and the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Indeed, it's a sad situation, Stephen, when we start a year on such a bad note, people losing lives as well as properties and infrastructure being damaged. Tomorrow evening, Stephen, because we have received reports from both Mpumalanga and Limpopo, but there is also Northwest, which is not prominent in the news, which is also experiencing some challenges. I am convening a special interdepartmental committee on disaster management, which will include all the ministers which are affected on issues of infrastructure and premiers, as well as MECs from the affected provinces, where we will be looking as to how we can activate the resources available across departments to intervene where we can immediately when the rain subsides, as in many areas it's not even easy to reach, as we can see even from the images, as today the level is at 10 in terms of the weather alert.
There's a lot of discussion, Minister, about whether this will be a national state of disaster. No provinces can declare their own states of disaster. Do you think we need to declare it as a national disaster?
Definitely, Stephen. It would have become a provincial if it is only one province affected. Already it's 2 provinces, and we are still waiting for concrete information from Northwest, which will mark a 3rd province. And once it is more than one province, it becomes more than a provincial disaster. And as we are looking at the data at a national level, that is when we are going to make a determination, the extent from what one looks on the visuals, because in many areas we can't have an access. It's a real catastrophe which deserves to be declared a national disaster, so that all the departments at a national level can start reprioritizing their budgets to intervene, because no single province can able to meet the destruction that has happened at a very unexpected time at the beginning of the year.
Obviously, in the end, what the provinces are going to need is money and resources. They're going to need help from you as national government. They might need resources from you as national government too. Are you ready to give those resources when they ask? In the end, so often, Minister, these things do boil down to whether you are able to give more money.
Stephen, the first thing to do, once the declaration has been made, all departments, provinces and municipalities get an opportunity to review and reprioritize their existing budgets to intervene. Human settlement will have to intervene in terms of providing shelter. The road and transport will need to intervene. Department of Health, all departments will need to reprioritize. And if it goes beyond what they can do, as you rightly know, the damage that happened in Eastern Cape in June last year, we only managed to go through processes of National Treasury and budget review only in January. If then it goes beyond what the departments can do collectively, the second approach will be to approach the Minister of Finance at a national level, who will take the process through Cabinet, until it reaches a parliamentary process to make available sufficient resources, but a lot would have been done by then through reprioritization from various departments through the declaration.
And Minister, we have these floods now. There was the Eastern Cape floods, as you've just reminded us. In 2022, there was probably the most intense flooding of all in KwaZulu-Natal. Do we need to spend, as government, as a nation, a lot more time and energy on preparing for floods? It seems now that every year we have intense floods like this. And Limpopo is not an area you would think you'd have flooding very often.
Stephen, we are going to table in Cabinet a revised response on disaster management towards the end of February. We have done a lot of groundwork where we are pulling together our response. You will agree that the response in Eastern Cape was very quick. And again, here in Limpopo, we see the SANDF, the SAPS, as well as the all necessary resources to rescue people who are trapped was quite earlier to save lives. And then we want to ensure that we pull together all resources so that when a disaster hits, at one time we just press one button, all resources are activated. And even going to financial resources, we are exploring the insurance option, because if it is an insurance option, it takes quicker than a government process, which takes a longer time. Like in the Eastern Cape, it took us 6 months to go through all the process to ensure that we don't miss any steps. But if it was an insurance process, it could have been done quite earlier than it would have been now.
Minister, thank you so much for your time. The Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Velenkosini Hlabisa, sir, thank you very much indeed. That's